Happy Monday, volleyball fans. This week, on episode 10 of the NBA miniseries Quest for the Cup, we're heading back to Texas to meet the Texas Tyrants and their co-owners, the father-son duo, Gianluca Grasso and Mauro Grasso. Check it out. All right, I am joined today by the Grassos, the father-son duo running the Texas Tyrants, formerly the Tennessee Tyrants. Thank you so much, Gian and Mauro, for joining me today.
Thanks for having us, Nick.
You know, it's crazy because anyone that knows what's really been going on with the league, Gian, I mean, you joined the Ramblers kind of last minute in November out in Utah. And you were at that point, we also had, you know, as far as the team goes, it was then the Tennessee Tyrants. So we're taking a different team, a different player, all at once, combining them together, and now we've got you running the Texas Tyrants. How did we get in 4 months to where we are today?
Yeah, it's a good story. You know, with the whole pandemic stuff, I wasn't able to go out and go back to Puerto Rico, where I played my first season professionally after graduating. And I was reached by Vinny Rodriguez, the owner of the Las Vegas Ramblers, and he reached out to me and he was like, asked me if I wanted to play a showcase with the NBA. At that time, I didn't even, you know, I wasn't really familiar with the NBA and how the whole, you know, how it worked. And so we jumped on a call. He kind of explained to me, and he was like, hey, you know, I have this team. I need you to, you know, come out and play for us and hopefully join this team for, you know, for good. So I was super excited about the call, and I told him right away. I think that it was the tournament started on Thursday. I think he called me on Monday. Yep. He was like, hey, can you fly here on Wednesday? And I was like, wow. I was like, sure. So, you know, I've had, you know, I wasn't doing much during the pandemic. So, but, you know, it took like 2 or 3 days. I went to the gym with my dad, got a couple touches in, and flew out to Utah and played with the Ramblers. And it was just like riding a bike for me. So it was a lot of fun. And then Vinny, you know, just in conversation, Vinny asked me about how Texas was doing, how you know, how I was doing in Texas and Dallas, and you know, he kind of mentioned he wanted he works with the NBA as well. He wanted the NBA to expand, you know, and we talked a little bit about, you know, if there was a possibility of opening or creating a team here in Dallas. And because I've been living here for a year or so, when I wasn't overseas playing, I knew, you know, I've had some friends that were from Dallas that I knew kind of played indoor, and I played a couple beach tournaments here and there where I saw there's some talent of guys that, you know, that could play. So after talking to Vinny and Bill for a short period of time, you know, we threw together a tryout where we were able to get a lot of this talent that wasn't, you know, that didn't have an opportunity to play anywhere else, overseas or even in the US, people that were undiscovered here in Texas. We kind of gave them an opportunity to, you know, be a part of the NBA.
I mean, it's such a truth that there's so much talent throughout the country. But now I'm curious, Mauro, I mean, from what I know of you, you're a coach that's got a wealth of experience. You've coached national players. You've coached players from the highest caliber. What was that conversation like? How did you get involved? Were you kind of ready for this, or was this kind of just something that came across your lap?
Well, it was because of Gianluca, of course. No, because I decided to come to the United States after my kids. Mm-hmm. All three were playing here and studying in several universities. So when I got tired of pursuing the Olympic cycles that I tried several countries before I came here, but it was not a big deal for me anymore. So I decided to follow my kids. I started working with volleyball here, start from scratch again, because in the United States, you know, it doesn't matter really what you did, but what you can do. So I had to start from zero and nothing. I'm always keeping coaching, but my main job here was to help other coaches to get at the same national Olympic level, with all the things that I have been working and studying all these years, almost 40 years. So when Gianluca came to me and said, "Oh, Dad, I know that you're not with the no desire anymore or the high level players, but we have this opportunity. What do you think about helping?" And I said, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna do it," and I'm glad I accepted because even if I had a lot on my plate already, I found a group of players, that, as Gianluca said, they didn't have a lot of opportunity here in the United States, and with this window where they could show their faces to everybody, and I hope this thing is going to really grow, and they're going to be recognized like the ones that start this movement.
Yep.
And really having the reward of sacrificing, being there, or coming from other cities 4 times a week, paying to practice and be part of it. And the most important part, I was so excited because they were, I think, the best group of guys that I have ever coached.
Really?
Oh yeah, they no egos. No, the chemistry was there from the first week when we start pointing on our expectations, and they start seeing what kind of coach I would be for them, and then they embrace our cause, everybody together, and it's fun. They're improving so much. They're buying all the ideas, and they're giving 100% to really make a good impression on the American spectators. And I think that they will succeed.
I gotta tell you, someone that helps the league, that just like warms my heart and makes me stoked to see what you guys can do. But as someone that's involved with the Las Vegas Ramblers and the first team that you guys play in just 3 weeks, it doesn't instill a lot of confidence. Like for me, I gotta be honest. It's exciting to hear how much the guys are just kind of banding together. And I think that's the biggest thing at this level, right? Is you get all these guys that can play ball, but if you can get them to buy into the program, the team, and the mentality, that's where they become a threat. And to hear that everyone's done that 4 times a week, that is incredible. I know no one else in the league is doing that. So I'm excited to see what you guys are bringing to the court. But in terms of on the opposite side, off the court, as a father-son duo, what's that dynamic like for you guys? Do you butt heads? Do you agree? Do you guys have a lot of the same conversations about personnel, strategy, how you want to play? Mauro, do you run the whole thing because you're the coach, or how does that work for you guys?
Well, of course, I have a lot more experience than him and the other guys, but the easy part that he has been hearing these corrections and this style of playing since he was 5, playing in the same court in our house in Brazil. And always, of course, all 3 of my kids, they grew in between all these Olympic players, and they know exactly what I talk about. And but I'm the kind of coach that I share everything. I never impose anything. I'm always open to hear what the kids and the players now they have to say. And I think that the big key is compromise everybody around the same goal, and going together and really trusting each other. So I think that they trust everything that I taught them to now. And I'm just upset because we don't have any scrimmage where we can now prove that everything that we're doing is going the right direction.
Yeah.
We have to do any adjustments, but I think it's going to work well. And with Gianluca is like that. He knows he's my son. I love him, but in the court, he's my player, and he has to respect what I ask them to do. And we have never had any problems. As I told you, he listened to this corrections.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think that I've been like you said, I've been listening to it. He's been, he's never been my, coaching at firsthand when I'm playing, but this is the first opportunity that I've had with him. Like I said, firsthand coaching, where he's at my actual coach, he's always coached me on the side everywhere that I've been. But this is the first time that I've had the opportunity to kind of listen even more closer, or to what he has to say. And it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. The managing side of the team is definitely tough because, especially like we talked about practicing how we practice, me being a player and also a manager owner, it's like, sometimes it's hard to, you gotta tell everybody to, you gotta tell the other players to be there on time. And, you're also a player and you gotta have to show them, you kind of have to be an example of respect and everything else, because if they're looking at me and I'm not respecting the coach, I'm not doing the warm-ups, I'm not doing the stretching, I'm not doing the icing after practice, they're going to be like, I don't have to do that either. The owner's not doing it. Why should I do it?
Right.
So for me, it's been fun though. It's been very fun. It's something that I enjoy doing. Dealing with all the players and the rosters and, acquiring players from other places and, those dealings, it's fun for me. And then as a player also, I think I've been able to separate, the owner part of it to the player part of it, where I can, where I'm on the court, I can focus and listen to, what my dad has to say and completely focus on the playing side. And then when I'm off the court, we still have conversations about the team and, we get home and like, hey, like, what do you think about, what do you think, how do you think this is going? What do you think we should change and who we should put to where, so
yep.
I think that we complement each other pretty good.
Awesome.
A little bit difficult is just sometimes I have to hold myself. So if I see something that I don't agree with him, because I have the tendency, because he's my son,
yeah,
and I want him to be the perfect example. So I have the first reaction is to be a little harder on him than on the others.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody expect the opposite. He's his son, and he's going to have an easy life. It's the opposite, because in between is the thing that really well.
And, it was something I got a chance when I talked with the Tornadoes a couple weeks ago. I'm curious, so many people overlook in men's volleyball, at least. I mean, women's is a little bit different, but men's volleyball in Texas is kind of this unknown quantity. And it's sort of an emerging market. What, as some of these new ambassadors for Texas volleyball, what does Tyrants volleyball mean to you? What should it mean to fans when they see you guys playing? What can they expect to see? For either one of you, sorry, either one of you take this away.
No, you're good. I think that, like you said, it's something new. We definitely want to entertain people. We want people to come out and watch. We want people to know what's about. In Texas, basketball and football are huge. So it's, kids that are in school, they don't really play, there's not a lot of kids playing volleyball. Mm-hmm. So hopefully with this opportunity of us, here in Dallas and Texas, showing, all these kids and hopefully, not just in Dallas, but in the whole United States where kids can watch volleyball instead of having their, trying to play basketball and football, they can instead try playing some volleyball and, because it's just something different. It's right. A different sport that it's kind of, like you said, it's unknown here in Texas, especially men's. And we are having this scrimmage. We're having this inner scrimmage with our own team where I'm splitting the team into two, where it's a black versus gray squad. And and we're gonna, open up to the public, and we're doing some work on advertising right now, where we want to make sure that everyone that's around us and everyone that is able to come can see what we're doing, can see what we have and what our team is made of, and have fun and just kind of enjoy the sport, be entertained by it and just have fun.
I think that the people here in Texas, it's not used to volleyball.
Right.
It was a surprise. No, we were preparing the gym because we practice the facility where I'm the coach director just for girls. Oh, and we were preparing to receive like 30 players at the tryout. All of a sudden, it was almost 80. No, and then when we start practicing there, I had to put down a curtain in between us and the other courts because it was the other player, the girls and the parents, and all of a sudden I look at the other side, everybody looking, because it's it's spectacular to see what those guys can do, the physical strength that they have, and playing smart too. The plays that they are able to do are really amazing. I'm proud of them.
It's so great to hear that. And I think that's one of the greatest things is that as an unknown sport, relatively speaking, here in the US, so many people hear the word volleyball and they're so quick to disregard it. And the moment they're in the gym doing anything else and volleyball's going on, the amount of people that stop and have to look at what's going on. I hope that is something that you guys are successful in Texas, that the NVA here in the US is successful in getting that kind of interest in the public. I hope people realize that volleyball is one of the best sports to get involved with. But for anyone that hasn't quite caught on to, the little bit of the Tyrants, what you guys have going on down there, how can they get involved with you guys? What can they, where can they follow along with the journey?
So we're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and it's just that our Instagram is TX Tyrants. So it's, Texas Tyrants, and same thing on Facebook and same thing on Instagram. So I think that, we do a pretty good job keeping up with pictures and, trying to just show people that we're active and we're trying to grow this sport in this league.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, I cannot thank you enough for your time. For anyone that is tuning in, if you're in the Texas area, April 9th, Black versus Gray, be sure to get tickets, go support these guys, find out what they're all about. And if you're not in the Texas area, then April 23rd, they will be making their debut in San Bernardino, California at the NVA first event. Be sure to tune in and see what these guys are all about. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. I can't thank you enough.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you to the Grassos. If you're in the Dallas, Texas area, be sure to grab a ticket and check them out this Friday night on April 9th for their Black versus Gray inter-squad match. And if you can't catch them there, tune in on April 23rd as the NBA kicks off the 2021 season. Next Monday, we'll be back checking out the reigning champions, the Utah Stingers. We'll see you then.